welcome. Thanks for joining me. This is Salome Room on the channel about building you and your money. Now, today we're going to be exploring a topic which is really pretty much to do with understanding our money personalities. Now, I'm not sure if this is something you've consciously looked at before, but as individuals or as couples or as families, we all have these individual personalities that determine how we manage money, how we behave towards money, and also, how we save, invest, or our overall outlook to money behaviors. And it's very important because once you understand your personality, of which you probably already do, and that of your spouse or those that are closest to you, you can then have meaningful conversations with yourself or meaningful conversations with your other half on how best you can help each other to improve yourselves on your own financial journeys. And that will vary and, it will depend on your personal goals, your age, your priorities, and, your family situation and dynamics. Okay. So I hope you find this insightful and interesting. Do subscribe to the channel, and of course do like this video as long as you find some great value in it, and that will be fantastic. So we'll start with the first type of personality. Okay, now this one is a straightforward type of personality, which is the saver. So a saver would be someone who really prioritizes, saving money, knowing that they're building up, a good strong reserve for emergencies or for the future, pretty much even for things that they've not really itemized, but they find pure joy in accumulating savings, and to the point that sometimes they actually deprive themselves so much of enjoying anything in the moment simply because they're very future orientated, and they find comfort and peace in knowing that they have savings that are solid, and they'll rather focus on building that up all the time. Okay, so that can sometimes end up getting into the zone of a compulsive saver, and in a situation where you are partners or you are a couple, it can have a strain on the other person because they may feel deprived, or they may feel that, this other individual is overdoing that. But I think it's just important for us to understand that that is actually a type of personality that exists, and that is where they find their own stability. Now, the second personality is the compulsive spender. Or let's just say the spender. They become a compulsive spender, of course, if that is quite extreme, where they do not have any, understanding or any care of the future whatsoever, and their priority is spending and spending and spending without thinking, without worrying, without caring about tomorrow, to the point that even sometimes they even hide their purchases because, they actually realize that they probably shouldn't be doing it, but that's just a habit and that's just a personality that they have. And then, of course, you've got moderate spenders who will find joy in enjoying their money, in enjoying the fruit of their labor, and they'll always justify that. Of course, money has to be utilized, money has to be used to live, to spend, to do all sorts of things that we need for daily life. But it's about understanding whether there is a balance between what you're saving and what you're earning, versus what you're spending in that equation. So I think there are certain people who have that as a personality, and they definitely find it difficult to save, and they definitely find it difficult to the point that it may also frustrate the partner, in the sense that there is no planning for the future, there's no thinking about the future, they're simply just thinking about the moment. Okay, now the third personality would be people that are risk takers, and this personality type enjoys sometimes taking calculated risk, and in some instances they may end up going into the gambling zone, right? Because that's the extreme of the risk taker. There are some risk takers that are just normal moderate risk takers who are willing to do whatever it takes to build their investments, even take high risk, knowing that they will probably earn high yields, but also understand that they may also lose that money. So I think, like anything else in life, there is some kind of balance with everything. Some people are high risk takers, some people are probably moderate risk takers. And even when you speak to a financial advisor and have an assessment, you have an assessment of your risk profiling, which then places you, in a place where they understand the types of investments that are suitable for you based on your tolerance. So again, for couples, for people, that are in relationships, people that have partners, in marriages, it's very important for you to understand the risk profiling of your partner so that it helps when it comes to communicating and making decisions that are to do with your investments together. Okay, now the fourth type of personality that we have is someone who is typically a planner. And with a planner, they're very much sort of engrossed in, or they enjoy, having a budget or having a plan or keeping track of their incomings and their outgoings in a very systematic manner. And being organized is something that they thrive, in. And when they're in a partnership or if in a marriage with someone who is not able to do that, it can cause some frustrations, but at the same time, it can also be a benefit to how you manage your finances, because you know that this person will have things in order, they'll be able to account for every penny, and they'll have their finances in place because of the way they have this planning approach to how they survive and how they manage their money. Okay, now the fifth one I'm going to talk about, which is not necessarily the last one, but it's the one that I'm going to do last, is the avoider, or the person who you can call carefree as well. Now, with this personality type, it is someone who really just avoids getting into deep detail about finances. They find money subjects very overwhelming. Sometimes when bills come through the door, they probably just ignore letters, they ignore the bank phone calls, they're not always checking their bank balance. They know that they've got enough probably to survive and to pay their bills, but they don't necessarily care about planning for anything for the future, planning for emergencies or anything like that. And that could be, someone you find yourself with, or that could be how your other half is, or that could be how you are, right? So I think the whole purpose of us exploring these personalities is that it is important for us to first of all understand ourselves and also understand our partners or our spouses, such that we are able to make decisions, okay, that are compatible to our personalities. Now, there will be improvement areas for perhaps all the 5 categories of those personalities, because if that person is doing too much of that type of, characteristic, they're just overspending, or they're just an oversaver to the point that it's frustrating, you can't enjoy life, or they're just so carefree that you can't actually make a plan and budget with them, then that makes it quite difficult. So I guess the idea of the conversations is for us to help each other. If it's not going to be us that help ourselves, we can get help from elsewhere so that we can grow in inhibiting, in getting the right habits that are then needed for us to understand each other and improve our own money personality so that we can manage our money better. Okay, so on that note, I've had to also evaluate my own approach to my personality and grow over the years so that my money habits can reflect a more responsible personality that is balanced in those areas where I'm able to know when to save, when to invest, when to take risks, how much risks to take, making sure I'm incorporating the planning aspects, and I'm also enjoying life right now. And we are doing the same as a couple and as a family. So I guess the key takeaway that's essential for us today is really just to make sure we understand ourselves and we understand our partner's personalities so that we are aware of what actually drives our money habits. And when we know what drives our money habits, we're able to know how we can just make the most of our situations that we're in and what we need to do to improve that, and what we need to do to improve that in a way that is constructive, in a way that is loving, and in a way that promotes growth for ourselves and our spouses as well. So on that note, I'll say thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, and also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you when you come back on the next video. Thank you.